When you think of the safety position, one of the first names that seems to come into mind is Sean Taylor. Taylor, who was known for his aggressive play and ruthlessness on the field, and it was very evident. Taylor likely would have been a Hall of Famer, but unfortunately, he was taken away from us way too soon. Here is the story of Sean Taylor. Sean Taylor was born on April 1st, 1983 in Florida City, Florida. He is one of 5 siblings, including his brothers Gabriel and Jamal, and his sisters Sasha and Monica. His parents were Pedro Taylor and Donna Jr. His father was a policeman. Sean spent the first 11 years of his life living with his great-grandmother before moving in with his father. Sean Taylor would attend Miami Killian High School but would transfer to Gulliver Preparatory School. During this time, Sean would start to be recognized for his football talent. He was a 3-sport athlete playing football, basketball, and running track. Sean would really stand out in football though because he could do it all. He played running back, wide receiver, cornerback, and safety. He would receive many offers from big-name colleges. Sean would attend college at the University of Miami. The Hurricanes would win the national championship Sean's freshman year, but he didn't contribute much because he sat behind the legendary Ed Reed. Sean would play a lot more in his sophomore season and would do pretty well, but his junior season would be his breakout year. He totaled 10 interceptions and 3 touchdowns that season. Sean would declare for the NFL draft after this season. Sean Taylor would be drafted by the then Washington Redskins with the 5th overall pick in the 2004 NFL Draft. This would be viewed as a great pick, and Sean would make an impact immediately. In his rookie year, he played in 15 games, starting in 13 of those, and had 4 interceptions, 2 forced fumbles, and 78 tackles. He would make the NFL All-Rookie team because of his performance, but he didn't stop there. In his second season, he would play well once again, having 2 interceptions, 1 fumble recovery, and a touchdown, while also having 72 tackles. Washington would make the playoffs that year and would beat the Buccaneers 17-10 in the wild card round in a game where Sean Taylor would score his last NFL touchdown on a 51-yard fumble return. They would lose to the Seahawks in the divisional round, but things were looking bright for Sean. 2006 would be another great season for Sean. He would play and start in all 16 games and would have 1 interception, 3 forced fumbles, and 114 tackles. This would be enough for Sean to make his first Pro Bowl, where he would have one of his most famous moments when he hit Brian Moorman on a fake punt.
Moorman is going to fake it on the run, and he's going to come up short. Oh, Sean Taylor!
This showed how competitive Sean was and made him a fan favorite. Sean had an amazing start to the 2007 season, having 5 interceptions and 41 tackles through 9 games. But then Sean would get hurt, and while recovering from his injury, tragedy struck.
Some jolting news off the field on Monday. Redskins safety Sean Taylor in critical condition after he was shot in his Florida home early Monday morning. Police officers were dispatched to Taylor's Miami area home at 1:45 a.m., and Taylor was later airlifted to a local hospital.
Sean Taylor was shot in a home invasion and would pass away as a result on November 27, 2007. He was only 24 years old. This news shocked the NFL world, and many would mourn the death of Sean. Washington would still suit up to play their game against the Buffalo Bills the following Sunday. Washington would pay tribute to Sean by having a moment of silence before the game, and on their first defensive play, they would only have 10 players on the field because they knew no one could replace him.
Edwards on a handoff to Fred Jackson, cutting to the outside. Jackson turns the corner and hit. And now Reed Doughty will come on.
Clinton Portis, who was one of Sean's close friends, would pay tribute by revealing a shirt he had under his jersey after scoring a touchdown. The tributes didn't stop there. Many teams around the league had a moment of silence before their games to honor Sean. He would be voted to the Pro Bowl in 2007 to honor his memory. This was a loss that impacted many people around the league. Even though his life and career were cut short, he had a big impact on the game of football. Sean is considered by many to be the greatest safety in the modern era of the NFL. Many young safeties base their play style off of Sean Taylor. It's safe to say that Sean impacted a lot of people, and he will be forever missed.